A pleasure to me all at last, and here we are at it again with some more of WhyStat 3.0. Now, I'm pretty excited about what we'll have down the line, but if there's one thing I definitely do not want to have coming through, it is in fact a conversation that someone wants to attempt to start with based on the MCU. I'll just get straight to the point by talking about the question that someone actually had the nerve to send to me some time ago, where they go as far to ask me, why is that you openly despise the MCU? Oh man, it's a big PU, for the record. And if anyone wants to really go ahead and find out why I have such a huge grudge against such a big epic franchise like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, then you know what? You're going to want to sit back, get yourself some corn while you can, and a lot of drinks. But not too many, so that way, at some point in this video, you feel like you have to pause it. So, just enough, of course. So, let's take it from the top here. First of all, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as we probably already know by this point, is a long-running film series that has started with Lionsgate's Iron Man 2008 starring Robert Downey Jr. and has progressed to such a big point that Disney had acquired the series, and under direct leadership from Marvel Studios themselves, they were able to utilize all the known properties of Marvel Comics. Not just Iron Man, but also Captain America, Thor, Black Widow, Hawkeye, The Incredible Hulk, Thanos, Whiplash, Scarlet Witch, Spider-Man, and everything you could think of. But let's just go as far to mention the fact that the series itself, in its 15-year run, has definitely garnered a little too much attention. A little too much attention to the point where it's getting rather annoying and irritating, and every new trailer that I've been seeing based on the Marvel Cinematic Universe, not to mention the fact that with all upcoming films that are slated for release in the next 5 to 6 years, with all the new talks that Marvel themselves plans on doing with so-called Phase 5. That's because the other 4 phases were just simply there for the heck of it. And as you probably know, Avengers Infinity War and Endgame together have grossed well over $5 billion across the global market. You might think that that's an achievement, but it just further solidifies the fact that not only is there a huge history of an overrated series, but the MCU has basically kicked itself down. Not only by succumbing to extreme levels of CG, to the point where it's incredibly deep-faked. It almost certainly looks like there's no action at all involving real actors on the set. Of course, we could just account for the fact that some dialogue portions and parts where the actors are actually there, such as in many of the scenes that take place within Avengers HQ or Tony Stark's place, where he has himself a wife and whatnot, but also with a number of other things as well. But when it comes to the CG, man, I tell you, it is just overflowing at this point. Basically speaking, whether we're talking Avengers, Captain America, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man, every possible lineage they could have ever come up with. Of course, they even had the guts to create an entire TV series based on Hawkeye, an entire origin film about Black Widow, because, of course, even though it's been proven that she already died, they just had to give us the life she had before she was killed. And then, of course, with all the abundance of TV shows and exclusive stuff on Disney Plus, I will forever imply it not only shows an unbelievable series, a collective database, that Marvel is somehow capable of spitting things out like an extreme high processing computer that we've never seen before. But it just shows that even if there were true people behind the making of all of these things, there could just never be a single slight of hope. Never. And after 20 freaking years, since the first possible iteration of a good live-action film, I mean, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy, Ang Lee's Hulk, a number of different films had been made before Marvel Studios decided to take it upon themselves and offer Lionsgate the job of a lifetime to create the 2008 film we know as Iron Man. It just forever shows. Somehow it intended to create a series which might have seemed like an idea that would have worked had they actually done anything right. But the thing is, since 2020, it has escalated to a mere series of unimaginable proportions that has no possible loyalty. And there are a few bits of hope that have forever been shattered. I would have felt good about having Thor, pretty much. But with all the sequels that have come by, Thor Ragnarok wasn't really terrible. But the fact is, having a third film just simply there for the heck of it, I mean, there's a reason why they say number 3 is never as good. But then comes Thor Love and Thunder. So, how do I feel about that? For one, I've never actually watched it, in theaters or on Disney+. And you might wonder, why is that? Because Thor, in the film, is nude! Why would they do that? Wow. And just to think, we never would have figured that they would ever go as far as crossing a moral line. They straight up put freaking nudity on the screen. That is impressive. Who would have thought that a Marvel character, a freaking God of Thunder, could actually be exposed like that? Like, oh my gosh. This is insane. Like, I could never come up with anything to ever describe such a horrifying thing like that. Oh, but you know what? You thought it got really bad then? Then why don't we talk about another release they made in 2022? Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Let me just start off by asking, how do you follow Black Panther with another Black Panther? Especially on account of the fact that in between both films, you have the main actor himself, the main man behind the whole thing itself. One iconic legend, whom he had lost to colon cancer in 2020, Chadwick Boseman. Once again, I will imply the question here. How do you follow up a Black Panther film with another one when the main actor is dead? The answer is that you don't. But let's be real here. Do you think Marvel would care even a little bit about it? Do they care a little bit about their actors? Well, you know what? Knowing that they went as far as to create a sequel to Black Panther after his death, you cannot make this stuff up! Not one bit. I am mortified by such horrible decisions. As inept and as loathsome as they could possibly be. How How could you possibly disrespect Chadwick Boseman, the legacy of a well-known actor from our generation, by making a Black Panther sequel? How could they do this to him? To us. Real big fans of his work. And on top of that, I've been hearing a lot of notion from people that have been suckered into watching it, that they hardly imply anything about the memory of Chadwick Boseman at all. A straight up memoriam is there, thankfully, so it's not a total loss. But just to know the fact that there's no indication of even a slight bit of Chadwick Boseman being remembered in the whole duration of the film, it's complete sadism beyond belief. Oh man. And just when I figured that they would have learned from their mistakes, it's one thing to literally have an actor nude on a set of a Marvel film, but for another film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe to literally dissuade the life and legacy of one Chadwick Boseman. Now that's just two things that I had to imply here. And you know what? At this very point, I could go on for a long, long time talking about the many other things about why it is so bad nowadays, especially, that you would never have a single ounce of an idea unless you actually knew about this stuff firsthand. If you were the kind of person who somehow has a subscription to Disney Plus and a crap ton of time to kill, please do yourself a favor. Never go to the MCU section. Anything Marvel related, really. Because all you're going to find in there is just crap. Crap that has no possible reason to be anywhere in our lives. Because if the studio alone could make the conscious decision to make an actor nude and record him on a Thor film and a Black Panther film that has little to no regard for the life and legacy of Chadwick Boseman, the man who originally did Black Panther, then you have no possible trust in life. If you have no reason at all to hear anything that I put out there, then just why don't you just click away? Don't make a response to this. Don't go trying to re-upload this whole video here and use it as a way to make your own commentary on. I will find it and have it taken down. Because I warned you here. This stuff is copyright protected and you will be punished for it. Wow. That was sure painful enough as it is. But thankfully, I will never again have to talk about such a big, really bad film series like this ever again in my whole life. And some people out there are gonna want me to review these films, but I will have another video related to this at some point soon enough. So, make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side if you want to see more on my channel.